and welcome to Scundered with me, Teresa Livingstone, the podcast about embarrassing stories. My dad's here. Well, not my dad, everyone's dad. For those of you who don't know, my guest today is a former lawyer turned comedian, actor, writer, broadcaster. What else? I said comedian, podcaster. It's the wonderful Tim McGarry.
Oh, what a lovely introduction. I actually know your dad.
Oh.
Your dad's a lovely fella.
He
I
is.
like your dad.
It feels like we're arguing. I'm not going to argue
No,
with you. Yeah.
He's
not.
No, your dad's an absolute gentleman.
He's
I know you're a very, very talented woman, but you're not the most talented person in your family. I know your brother Peter as well. Who is the most talented person?
Peter.
What? You weren't going to mention Peter?
I was going to mention
Peter. Oh, what,
Peter.
did he embarrass you or did you embarrass him? Or did your Peter is, the last time I saw him, he was up at Stormont. I think he could run Stormont.
I swear to God, he gets more bookings than I do.
Is that right?
Peter is involved. So this is my brother Peter, he's nearly 37 now.
Oh, right.
He's got a learning disability, but he's everywhere.
Oh, he's everywhere.
He's on a member of the All-Party Assembly Group for Disability.
Yep.
He's always up speaking to MLAs. But it's great for him because it means whenever in his day-to-day life, if things aren't going his way, he's like, it's all right, I'll bring it up with Mike Nesbitt when I see him next. When he's at the GP.
And he always comes to our shows, which shows
He
that a man
does.
of taste and distinction.
Yes. To be fair, we do joke with him that there's probably a restraining order out with his name that you have taken because he is your biggest fan, and he's in the front row at everything.
He is. He's a good man. Well, tell him I said hello. Well, do. Anyway, sorry.
Sorry, you know my dad.
I know your dad. I know your brother.
I've got a very loud family, Tim. So yes,
loud family. Yeah.
Do you have a loud family? Are you from a very bubbly, loud family?
No, there are 6 of us in our family. Well, there were actually 7, bizarrely, because not bizarrely. I had a sister who died before I was born.
Right.
A long time before I was born.
Yeah.
She was 2.5, and you think about it. And I kind of vaguely mentioned this in my stand-up show because it's called Height of Nonsense, and it's about me ma, basically, who was born in 1926 and had 7 of us.
Bloody hell.
That's quite unusual these days, but our family, our family get on all right. We're quite. Part of the reason for that is we don't see each other that often.
Yes,
and I mean that in a positive way. You know, I have a sister in London, I have a brother in Dublin, but we do with no rows, no too much drama.
Even when you were all under the same roof.
No, not really. You know, we're all different
unusual.
in our own weird way. You know,
and is it because you're all spaced out age-wise, or are you all sort of quite close together?
No, well, I suppose there's a bit of a gap. There's 10, 15 years between all of us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is that enough? 3 girls, 3 boys. The biggest division in our family is fucking dogs. I do not do dogs. Oh, I know you do dogs, don't you?
Yes, I do dogs, yeah.
Oh, well, we have a family WhatsApp group. And three of us don't do dogs, and 3 of us.
When you say do dogs, can we clarify?
Sorry, this is the Scundered. I thought it was on a different podcast here. This is the. Sorry, no. 3 like and own dogs, and are obsessed with their feckin' dogs, and should put pictures of their feckin' dogs.
As they should be. I'm on that.
3
I'm
of
in
us
that
are
group.
going,
Yeah.
I would never kick an animal. I would never be abusive to an animal, but I don't want one. I don't want your house smells. By the way, your house smells, and I do not want to spend my life picking up shite. I'm sorry, I don't. And you have dogs or cats. Your house smells. I know you pretend you don't.
My house does. I actually think I have a big fear that my house smells. And I
does.
Don't know.
I haven't been in your house. I've never been in your house. I've never been invited. Thank you very much.
No, you won't
Fraser
be
won't
after
let me in. But your house smells. Okay.
So that's the division in the family. It's dogs versus just none.
3 girls, 3 boys. You know.
Okay.
But we do. It was the great. Who was the big American comedian? The ancient George Burns.
Yeah.
Said happiness is having a large, close knit family in another city.
Yeah.
But we're quite good in moments of crisis, which we've had recently. With one of the sisters got quite sick, and then we've come together. And we're quite good like that. But
and your new show, which you're touring at the minute, is like you say, it's about your mum, and your previous show was about your dad.
Yeah.
So are you going to go through them all individually? Have you got 6 more shows in the pipeline?
Well, they haven't been to see this one yet, and I'm not the siblings. I'm not sure they're going to be entirely happy with all of probably. But no, the previous one was called Ridiculous because that was my dad. I got my sense of humour from my dad. He had a very dry, sarcastic sense of humour. He used to say, trouble with this country is we take ourselves too seriously and we need to have a sense of our own ridiculousness. Yes. He had a very, very dry sense of humour, which I love. And my mother, it was just because it was her centenary. You know the way what happens is they go, you have a show booked?
And you're like,
I go, have I? Yes, so you're doing a tour. Can we have some blurb? I go, well, what? Yeah.
The show will come later.
When is it? April 26th? I go, God, my mother was born in April 1926.
There you go.
And quirky fact, intro, my mother was born on April the 4th, 1926, Easter Sunday. 1926. Never had another birthday on Easter Sunday until 1999, 73 years later. Right. Because, as you know, Easter is a movable feast.
Yes.
But 73 years, she never had a birthday on Easter Sunday until 1999. That's a quirky fact. Look that up.
It's quirky. I don't know if
quirky.
It's interesting.
Not in. Well...
No, but that's the show. So the show's kind of... Do you get a lot of material from your family?
No, they've been very poor. They've been very poor at giving me an indecent show because they're all highly talented and
and you like each other. And
we like each other. My brother's a very well known and eminent psychiatrist, and he doesn't give me any of the stories, any of the biz, that you'd like to hear about. Come on, because he's all professional and all.
Yeah,
He'd go, come on, tell us about your woman. How mad is she? He won't do that.
Yeah, I know.
My brother's a planner in Dublin. The sisters were nurses, and they're all professional and good people.
Damn these good
people, you know. So I get on the theme of why we're here.
Yeah,
I embarrass myself.
Oh,
so
good.
That's
because I noticed on your Instagram bio you describe yourself as a professional gleip.
So good Ulster Scots word.
And that means doesn't that mean clumsy or like a bit of a...
Well, it's kind of physical and emotional and stupid. A big gleip is a big gangly idiot.
Yeah.
Who's physically awkward like I am. I kick things.
Yes.
I kick things all the time. Yeah. I see that camera, it's only 2 feet from me. I will knock that over on the way out.
I'm so glad to hear. I'm a clumsy person as well.
Yeah.
So tell me, when and how do you embarrass yourself then, Tim?
Well, I embarrass myself. I embarrass myself in front of Daniel O'Donnell's ma.
Okay.
I insulted Daniel O'Donnell's ma.
To her face?
Without me knowing.
Oh, right, okay.
Because it was a long time. Daniel O'Donnell had a TV show in BBC Northern Ireland, and the producers said wanted some celebrities in inverted commas to appear in the front row and to be in the
like an audience with
sort of stuff. And I didn't really want to do it. And it was a wet Monday evening, and I was told basically 3-line whip, you have to come down to. So I arrive into the BBC green room.
Yeah.
And there's a little old lady sitting in the corner. I thought nothing of it. I meet some colleagues. I go, this is above and beyond a fucking Call of Duty. Daniel fucking O'Donnell. Daniel fucking O'Donnell show. I really didn't want to be. This is a pain in the hole. I was sitting in a fucking Daniel O'Donnell show. And somebody, have you met Mrs. O'Donnell?
Oh,
Mrs. O'Donnell. What I wasn't talking about Daniel O'Donnell. No, I was talking about Billy O'Donnell. Oh, yeah. Sweet old lady that she is.
Oh, she was just polite and took it.
She was just polite. But you see, my career started being Scundered.
Yeah.
I was in St Malachy's College.
Yes.
And for various... This actually comes up in the show. I'll not give you the reason why I was in 12 Angry Men, but there's a reason why I was in the play 12 Angry Men. And I played the old man in 12 Angry Men.
Okay.
And 500 bored St Malachy's boys watching an amateur version of 12 Angry Men, not with who's in the famous version of 12 Angry Men.
Is it Gregory Peck? No.
Somebody very famous.
Okay,
lots of very famous actors.
I have seen it. It's very good.
It's a very good play. I played the old man.
Yes.
The old man, and the old man doesn't say an awful lot until he's got a very important point in the play, which is it's about a murder, and there's a witness to the murder, and the witness is in fact an old lady, and she had marks on the side of her nose right when she was given evidence, which proved that she wore glasses. But she didn't wear glasses. So my big line was coming up, and the big line was, I've been going over her face in my mind. Right? I've been going over her face in my mind. Big line comes up, come on, cue coming. 500 bored St Malachy's boys. Cue comes, I've been going over her mind in my face. 500 bored St Malachy's boys went, yeah, my guy. And part of me was going, I'm Scundered. And part of me was going, That's actually quite good, getting the laugh.
I like the reaction.
I like the reaction there. That was a bit weird. That was kind of, I did get the reaction.
Yeah.
You know what?
And that sparked something in you. I remember, it wasn't in a play. When I was at school, we took part in like a mock trial. We did this thing where we all went down to the High Court.
Right,
and
a moot.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
And because I just loved being on anything that I thought was a performance, like a stage. And this wasn't the same, but I took it to be. And I was just a member of the jury. So we were sitting there and the pretend judge said, right, we'll have to appoint a juryman or the foreman of the jury. And it wasn't me, it was somebody else. And I was really annoyed. And when it came to the end of the trial, he said, could the foreman of the jury please stand? And I just stood up and went, not guilty. And just gave the whole thing away. They're just like, sit down. No, you're shit. But no, so that sparked, so getting the laugh was sort of addictive.
Well, I have a certain generation, so I was brought up on Monty Python and Nothing 8 O'Clock News, and I was always a big fan of all that sort of stuff, but I didn't really do anything until I went to university. I met the two idiots, Damon Quinn and Michael McDowell, and I fucking shake them off 40 years later. Yeah, you know?
which became the Hole in the Wall gang then,
Eventually. Eventually, yeah.
But in terms of I have done, when you're telling me the story about Daniel O'Donnell's mum, it's not quite the same, but I haven't done very much TV, like acting type work, but I did do some in Soft Border Patrol a couple of years ago, and which I love doing, and I'm available for more. But there was one scene where I had to drive. This is the thing about the technicalities of being like on a set that I just wasn't used to. In my scene, I had to drive my own car down a hill and stop at the guys playing the Soft Border Patrol, and then we did like an improvised scene out the window. And I ended up ruining their whole shoot that day because we had to do it so many times. Because I didn't know about things like the mark, find where to stop the car. So every time we did it, I would drive down the hill, not drive past the camera and stop, or they'd be like, or not turn the engine off when I was, and it went on and on and on. The reason I'm telling you is I was obviously mic'd up for the whole thing. And every time this assistant director was getting angrier and angrier because he kept going, Teresa, drive to this mark, turn off your engine, then lean out the window and say your lines. And I was like, no problem. And I'd always just do one of them and never all of them. And each time I messed it up, he'd say, get back up the hill, we're doing it again. And like the 10th or 11th time, I was just in my car going, for fuck's sake.
And did you think nobody could hear you?
I had a microphone on, and I had like a wee girl who was playing, she was like an extra playing my daughter in the car, and she was just sat mute the whole time. And because she knew, like she was sort of like, she was trying to say to me like, you've got a microphone on. And I was like, say these bastards if they make me do this one more. Anyway, and then I'd drive down all sort of, hiya. So,
we had to do that in Spain. In 1999, we filmed an episode of Give Me a Headpiece in Spain, and Michael McDowell was driving a car, and it was the joke was it was a tiny, tiny, tiny car, and there were 6 of us in this tiny, boiling heat.
Yeah.
We had a lambeg drum on the roof of the car.
Of course you did.
Of course we did. And exactly the same thing. Michael McDowell was, and it was a shitty wee car as well. And Michael McDowell kept missing the mark. And you had to. And the director, a guy called Martin Shardlow, lovely English guy, normally very calm gentleman, but after the 10th time,
he's like,
he started kicking combs, and then he became the Incredible Hulk, and he was screaming. And there were 7 of us packed in this car, and all we could see is this director going,
it's really hard.
It is a very hard thing to do. Yeah. And we were all boiling, and we eventually got it done. And Damon Quinn, who's a man who can at times be somewhat, how should I put this, thoughtless.
Okay.
7 of us in the car, right? Literally jammed into the car. Damon's in the front passenger seat. Finally, we get the clear. Thank you very much. That's it. It's a clear. Damon gets out of the front passenger seat, closes the door. And there's literally 6 of us going.
See you later. Yeah. So embarrassing yourself. When you say you knock into things and do you find yourself sort of, you've got bruises, you don't know where they've come from a lot?
Yeah.
Clumsy. Yeah. Me too.
Toes are constantly sore, kicking things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And is it something to do? I don't mean to get into your physical history here, but is it something to do with your height? Do you feel like you're more sort of like?
I don't know. I mean, mildly dyspraxic. Is that what they? Possibly. I don't know.
I think there's something like that with me because I do fall down a lot, or I'll walk into things a lot, and even not like I've actually seriously injured myself. I've broken my wrist like a couple of years ago from dancing at a wedding. But anyway, just literally like a week ago, I was in a jeweller's shop looking at watches, and see the way my wrist kind of goes round like that, still from having broken my wrist. And I was just I was telling the woman in the shop, I was like, oh, I've broken my wrist, so it's a bit weird looking. But it means I'm really, really careful, whenever I'm going up and down steps and everything. And I left the shop and literally in front of the shop fell over myself and went head first into a puddle. And I could see her just sort of looking at me just like, that's a grown woman. But the difference being now, because I noticed this the last week, nobody laughs now whenever you see, when I was younger, it was a bit of a ha-ha, Scundered. Now it's like, oh, and there was just a wee woman outside going, oh my God, are you okay? Yeah. Like, there's an elderly woman in a puddle. Yeah, there's like,
that's when you're in a fine dining restaurant, which I was in recently, and the waiter clearly dropped a whole lot of plates, and nobody went, yeah!
I know.
Oh, right, sorry. Sorry. Are you okay?
Sorry, Michael Dean. Sorry. What about on stage? Have you ever embarrassed yourself on stage? Has there been anything that's happened to you?
Well, I used to wear orange underpants and black tights as Orange Man on stage. Which,
oh, right, okay.
I was an orange superhero. That was a long time ago, and a cape. Yes.
What was the orange superhero's name?
Orange Man.
Okay.
Very imaginative.
Very good.
Orange Man. He was like Superman. And whenever Catholics and Protestants were getting together, or anybody was being nice to each other, he would appear and go to break the whole thing up. And, very successful character.
Yes.
So I used to do that on stage and on the radio and stuff. Yeah, well, I didn't have to dress up.
Wasn't as embarrassing but did you do it anyway?
It was quite embarrassing. But then you have to realise in comedy, you gotta
be silly.
You gotta just go with the flow and make an idiot of yourself. No, if I make an idiot of myself, was Scundered. I did something recently in the Grand Opera House. I'm not great with hecklers. I don't like hecklers.
Yeah.
Don't like them.
Yeah.
And they annoy me.
Yeah.
We were doing a show in the Opera House, and it was packed out. But there was somebody came in we were noticing there was somebody in the front row who looked like he was filming the show.
Oh, right.
Had a light or something, just sitting there. We said to people, the front of the house, it looks like somebody's filming. We'll sort that out, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm doing my stand-up bit in the middle of the second half. Guy's still sitting there. And I'm unsubtle, because I don't like to be... And I went, what the fuck are you filming us? You're not allowed to film us. Stop filming the bloody show. Some movement was made and signs and going, what do you do? You just turn the fucking camera off. And the guy beside him said, he's deaf. That's his hearing aid.
Oh, shit. You're like, get him
out of here. One of these large sort of hearing aid things.
Right.
And that was a light from the hearing aid, and 1,000 people going, you
I've never seen anything
you
like
bastard,
that.
McGarry.
No, but you wouldn't have thought that was anything but a phone.
Just go, oh, God.
I know, but then you want to die, don't you?
Yes,
and you'd be like,
you
yeah,
do.
no, it's funny, innit? But it's different now, isn't it, with because there's loads of like stand-up online with like social media clips and everything, and it's loads of crowd work. So do you kind of... It's not something you sort of like lean into.
No,
you don't enjoy it.
No,
I don't really enjoy it either.
Enjoy that. No, people come to see you tell jokes, not
to
hear about hey, is this your wife? And what's your name? What do you do? Tell me a bucking joke.
I know. But people come along.
Some people are very good at it. Delamere is brilliant at it.
Yes.
Delamere is brilliant at it. But some comedians, I think, use it to fill space.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. There's a happy medium. You want, because having some of it actually makes everyone feel like we're all in the room together and this is like unique to us this evening. But if it's not just that and nothing else, you do get a bit like, hey, come on.
The clips you see online, there'll be 10 other people he'll talk to and are funny and he got nothing out of and moved on very quickly.
Yeah. Because what you find then is people coming along to, if there's something at the Empire or whatever, and they're expecting it.
Yeah.
It does. It's a catch-22 situation. But I had with hecklers, I tend to just get really distracted. I don't,
Yes.
I'm better now at, I just keep going. And I don't get heckled a lot, but if it's just somebody talking or somebody asks a question, I'll just talk over it. Because once I get distracted, my brain can't get back into what I was saying. So I might as well just finish. So
Yeah. And more people are talking at gigs as well, just talking, not heckling.
Well, this has come up in the news recently as well. Like, you know, your woman Rosamund Pike came out and gave a wee speech at the end. That's very me. I would do that. I would come out and have like a teacher at the end of the class going, let's just review what happened here. I'm not happy with how this went. But yeah, because people don't know how to behave in theatres and whatever. It's weird.
They get up and go for peas and buy beer and stuff like that.
Do you know what made me feel better about this? Do you remember, maybe it was about a year or two ago now, when Kevin Hart was here filming and he kept doing all these like pop-up gigs and laveries and stuff like that. I went along to one of them, and so this is Kevin Hart and he comes out to do his stand-up with a team of security around him. Like, it's so, everybody's had to have their phones taken off.
I'm like that.
That's just to stop you hurting yourself.
Don't fall off a stage this time, Tim.
But he came out and we were all like, oh my God, that's actually Kevin Hart. And there was a row of people at the back and they talked all the way through it. And I was like, I actually can't believe this is happening. People were getting up and going for a piss in the middle. I was like, oh well. And it actually made me feel so much better. I was like, if that's how people are behaving when Kevin Hart, the rest of us are fine. You know, it's them, it's not us.
I did actually once fall off the stage and broke my leg in the Elmwood Hall.
Oh my God, that is a high stage.
And I got a very, very, very good laugh for it. I was Ian Paisley in a sketch, and it was at the end of the show, and I literally fell off the stage.
Yes.
And we went, very
He's great.
Oh, let's get that. He's really taking this. And then I hobbled back onto the stage to take a bow because it was right at the end of the show. And then I suddenly realised that this was a lot more painful than I.
Just and one silent tear followed.
My cousin, who was a GP, happened to be in the audience, and he rang me afterwards. He said, "That was very, very funny. Where are you? Do you want to meet up for a pint?" I said, "No, I'm in the city hospital casualty."
I need you to come
strapped.
here. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, so that was a long time ago in the Elmwood Hall.
Because I suppose when you first did that, the adrenaline sort of keeps you going.
Yeah,
the fact you were able to get back up on stage.
But the lack of sympathy from everybody in the cast and in the audience was shocking. Nobody cared.
They were like, you can do that every night, can you? Just throw yourself off. I've fallen off stage as well, but I fell off the Empire down the back of the steps. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just coming off stage. And again, people were like, she's very funny. She's very, very physical with her comedy. And I was just there, my leg over my head. Just like, but I only sprained my ankle that time. I didn't. But I do end up in A&E quite often.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
It's to be avoided, A&E.
Oh, well, it is now. Yeah. It's not like it used to be. I don't remember going up with like broken ankles and being there for 15 hours. You used to be able to. Anyway, we'll not get into the health service. Hey, I am going on tour with my new show, Nice Lady, and tickets are available now. So I will be in Edinburgh, Belfast at the Lyric Theatre, Armagh, Manchester, Lisburn and Derry. Tickets are available now on my website, teresalivingstone.com. Do you know what I found out about you, Tim? I just happened to, because I was Googling just to see what it said on your Instagram.
Right.
And your IMDb came up.
Oh.
And it says that one of your credits is the Hollywood movie Hacksaw Ridge.
God, this has actually caused some problems.
Were you in it?
No, I was not in Hacksaw Ridge.
It also says you were in Home and Away. And I was like, wait a minute. It says you were in Home and Away.
I was in Home and Away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's my Australian phrase. Yeah.
So, I'll tell you what it says. Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson. You played the role of Local Man.
Local Man, no. Was
that Orange Man
This
again?
is untrue. This is untrue. And embarrassingly, I have received a couple of payments from the British Equity Collecting Society for my role in Hacksaw Ridge. And I thought, this isn't me. Genuinely.
Is it someone else called Tim McGarry?
I don't know who the fuck it is. Will you stop telling me? Could IMDb please stop?
I might just say that I was in A Star Is Born and see if I start getting messages.
Keep saying the jacks, but no, genuinely, I don't know how. There's somebody put this up. IMDb decided I was there. I don't know if there's another Tim McGarry, but I presume there is some.
There's maybe someone.
One.
Maybe there's like a Tom McGarry or somebody, or Local
Jim
man.
McGarry.
Because Hacksaw Ridge, that doesn't take part in Ireland.
I don't. What is Hacksaw Ridge?
It's a World War II movie
action
about...
movie. Well, it could have been me now that I think about it. It could
But isn't that the one
maybe
with...
I've forgotten about my action role.
Is that the one with Andrew Garfield in it? Have you seen it?
I haven't seen Hacksaw Ridge, no.
Yeah.
It's really like it's
I'm
really
very
violent,
good in it.
and it's like a World War II, like
Tim was
really.
good in it.
I was very good in it.
Well, there you go. I just thought that was funny.
I was slightly scundered, and I was in a film called A Belfast Story, which I don't know if you saw.
No.
I was murdered up against. I was machine gunned up against Criminal Road Jail,
Right.
and stood over by a well-known actor, Colin Meaney. I had a couple
Oh,
of
yes.
cards with Colin Meaney, but Belfast Story was a rather odd film, in that it was. If you get a chance to see it, don't take it.
Okay.
There were a lot of local actors. It was a weird thing
Yeah.
made by a company who were a bit of a Christian vibe off it. So it was all about murder and revenge in Northern Ireland.
Okay.
But nobody swore in it.
Or drank.
Or drank. And it was all a bit worthy and stuff. And I got a wee part in that. It was fine, you know. It was
Yeah,
fine,
yeah.
You know, I got
Nobody
back. It was
swore.
calling
Forget
me.
you.
Oh, flipping heck. What you did during the Troubles was very
Bold.
bad. Very bad.
Rude. How rude.
But Hacksaw Ridge, this is, well, it's kind of scundering, but not scundering. If you go on my Twitter feed, which I can't
Yes.
go on because I've been blocked on Twitter because I have been hacked on Twitter.
Have you?
I've been hacked on Twitter. And somebody sent me a picture of me on Twitter because I in front of a very nice, my head has been superimposed on a young person. I can tell it's a young person because they're wearing trendy clothes and these kind of runnery trainer things that young people wear and pay £1,000 for,
Yeah.
which I would not wear. And my head has been superimposed on this young person standing in front of a very fancy white car, telling people that he made 30 grand on crypto. Thanks to my...
Oh, my
So
God,
I
right.
have been fucking hacked, and then
Right.
on Twitter, and I can't get back into it. I've sent nice... Alex Kane, the political journalist who I know
Yeah.
very well, he was hacked, and he said, you need to speak to this person and
Oh,
email.
my God.
So yeah, I've been hacked on Twitter, and a couple of... So if you get if anybody's watching and
Any
goes to my Twitter account, I'm not into crypto.
This does-
I didn't make 30 grand last
Do you
week.
think maybe it's the hacker is updating your IMDb as
Yes,
well? And
he's in Hacksaw Ridge. That's what's happened.
and Home and Away. Sorry, 'cause I was like, what? Who were you in Home and Away? Loved it. That was my childhood.
Yeah. So no, I haven't been in Hacksaw Ridge. I've instead been
disappointed
hacked
now.
on Twitter.
Because I think it's about there was one soldier, maybe I'm confusing it with another film. There's a soldier who took a vow that he wouldn't bring a gun.
Is that Hacksaw Ridge?
Is
the guy?
that Hacksaw? I have to
Yes,
look it
this
up
is
now.
the medical person. Was it the?
And he just ended up saving
saving loads of people.
loads and loads and
He was
loads.
a pacifist, and he refused.
That's right.
Yeah.
Refu-
All right.
Oh no, I don't think it is that. That's a totally different film.
It is the one with Andrew Garfield.
Oh, it is then.
yes.
So maybe that is.
Right.
Yes. He joins as a medic. And,
Right.
and he basically, the whole film it's just war, and it's him dragging
Right.
people out of the trenches. So I was like, what local man was Tim McGarry?
No,
Who was just watching this happening just in the background.
I have recently got a part in the Hope Street movie,
Oh,
which
yes.
is kind of nice. You know, that was kind of.
And what are you allowed to tell us about the...
I'm not sure.
The role? No? Okay.
No, that has been public. I'm Minister Dodds.
Okay, oh, very good.
I'm a minister who bizarrely marries Paddy Jenkins, as in married, not as in performs the ceremony.
Oh,
rather
okay.
than
I was like,
marries.
oh, Hope Street's
Marries-
no.
Oh no, Hope Street's very liberal, very
Liberal,
good, yeah. But this goes back to 12 Angry Men in St Malachy's,
Yes.
because the producer and the man who came up with the whole Hope Street was actually in 12 Angry Men with me. in
With
St
you?
Malachy's.
And he thought, someday.
It's a guy called Paul Marquis, who's a very well-known television producer who made loads of TV
Right.
across the water and used to produce things like Coronation Street, and he invented footballers' wives, among many
Oh.
other things. Yeah, guy from Belfast.
Didn't have a part for you in that,
called
though,
Paul
no?
Marquis, who's this... I know. He finally, he's 62 years being a mate, and finally he got me a part in Hope Street. But I have to say, absolute ball. They were lovely crew, lovely people, really. And it's a fun wee thing.
It
So had a
looks like it,
had a nice
actually.
wee small part, but it was lovely. They
Yes.
were very. You could just tell you go on a set and everybody's just dead on.
Nice.
There's no egos. They've weeded out all the wankers earlier on.
Yes.
And everybody's just lovely, and the crew's very professional, dead on, and they were very welcoming. And
I would love to do more
4
of that.
days in Donegal, you know.
All right, just rub it in then. I'm glad you have a great life. I don't, like I say, I'm not that experienced being on set, but I
Well, you see, well, the point is, before that, the only part I ever got was one I wrote myself. I go,
have to give it
I
to you.
think Tim McGarry might be good for this part that Tim McGarry has just written.
I was in a DOE ad, you know, there was one of the road safety ones. Like, this is probably about 15 years ago now, but it was one that it's one of those ones where there was a funeral in it, and there was maybe about 50 of us all walking behind, like it was like being at a real funeral. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going method here, but I feel very sad. 'Cause we're all in our black clothes walking behind a...
If you want a lift, give me a shout. I'll do a lift for you.
But there was... I knew her well. And I was
what am I getting out of the afterdo here?
I was getting really into it. But all they said to us was, just walk like you're at a funeral and don't look at the camera. Like, don't look at any of the cameras. And I couldn't stop. And every now and then, they'd just stop and go, stop looking at the camera. So I must have just been like looking at it and giving it wee smiles. And then towards the end, like every time we did this march, I was just getting further and further up until I got to the front, and they went, right, that's it. And like put me at the back and said, stay there. You're not allowed to move. You're all meant to be in the same position each time. So I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Not
See,
good at
extras
following
are more
instructions.
professional these days, because sometimes we had this in Give Me a Headpiece. There were extras who, thought that they would, help the show.
Do a bit of improv.
Maybe interjecting.
Oh, seriously?
I could do a wee line here, and you go, no. Don't do that.
my
Don't
God.
do that. But yeah, no, they've got a lot better now.
Yeah. Well, no extras, and I have not given me any further
right?
work. So yeah, that's about not that. So your tour. Tell us where you're going on your tour coming up.
Well, I did about 14, 15 shows, and then they've added a couple of extra ones, which is lovely.
Oh wow! Oh God! So your tour's almost.
It was almost done, and then they added a few more. So I'm in the Playhouse in Portrush on the 7th of August. I'm in Bangor on the 8th and 9th, but those are sold out in the wee courthouse. Lovely. And I'm in the Lyric on the 29th of August. And then I was due to be in Strabane. They advertised Strabane. Strabane says, well, Alley Theatre's open again. And then the Alley Theatre said, oh, no, we're not open again. And so even though I got artwork done and posters saying, hey, we're in the Alley Theatre, and they said, because it closed down for about 2 years because of flooding or something, and they were supposed to open the bloody thing again. And
the whole thing's been...
And then they said, yeah, they booked us in, and they said, yeah, definitely be open, and now they're unopened. So to the 6 people who bought tickets
that'll be
for
rearranged.
Strabane.
Yes.
Apologies, not my fault. But I'm not in Strabane.
I will come and see your show in the Lyric.
I would love you to come and see the show.
I saw the last show you did
you enjoy
last
the
year.
last show?
I loved it.
Thank you very much.
Really loved it. And I think because you do so many different things, Tim. Obviously, you're like host of the Blame Game. There's like Perforated Ulster. There's your own podcast. There's stand up. But your stand up is just... I think that's my favourite thing of what you do.
Oh, thank you.
And it's really it's up there. I find it very hard to go and see anybody else and sort of think it's any better.
I mean, I think
than
the problem is a lot of people don't know I do stand.
Really?
Because they're from the Give Me a Headpiece stuff. They go,
they think of you as more
as...
yeah.
But
have you always done stand up with alongside sketch and everything else?
Yeah, well, it developed from when Give Me a Headpiece was massive.
Yeah.
And then David Hull, our promoter, used to say, we used to be open at the odd supermarket every now and again, and what would happen when people would hand you a microphone, go, give us some of your crack. And I go, some of my what?
I know, haven't written it.
I'm an actor, darling. I don't have crack. I need the crap.
Yeah.
And then you kind of develop from that. And we when early on the stage shows, I used to do bits of stand-up. Damon and Michael tried it and hated it, and I quite liked it.
Ah, right. So you all had a go at it.
We all had a go at it, and I did enjoy it. And then we would do so doing the stage shows to Give Me a Headpiece. I do a sort of 20-30 minute set.
Yes.
And it kind of developed from there. I did a few solo shows, and I love it. I do genuinely. There's nothing better. It's 70 minutes this show roughly, and after the first couple of shows where you tighten it up and stuff like that.
Yes.
It's just a joy to do.
Yes. Once you're not having to think about what the show is anymore and you're just performing it. Yeah. And would you do it outside of Ireland? Do you tour anywhere else?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't. I do a lot of gigs now with the younger ones, the younger people.
The young fellas, the young lads.
The young lads, they're doing quite well.
They are.
Young people.
They are.
And ladies as well, which is good to see. You know, there's loads of.
Nice.
The ladies are doing very well. No, well, yourself and Emer and actually with Nuala McKeever on our podcast recently. Nuala doesn't really do stand. She does bits of stand up. But she actually does solo shows.
Yes.
There's plays that she writes herself, which are brilliant.
Amazing.
Really, really well. And Nuala kind of gets that. Women go up and say, "Look, you were kind of one of the first."
Yeah.
There were very few women doing anything.
Being funny.
She started, and all that nonsense of women aren't funny anymore is long gone, thankfully. Yeah. But, I mean, there's a boom now in comedy, and I try to keep my hand in and do Lavery's and the Empire and clubs all around the place.
And the fact that you do that and it's still work, because I think people can get very in their heads about like, oh, that would be a very young crowd. They wouldn't understand. I don't think that matters so much.
I don't. I mean, with my show, it does attract a slightly older demographic, shall I say. Yeah. But at the same time, you go to Lavery's and stuff, and I'm the oldest person there by 30 years, But if they're laughing, if you're funny, you're funny.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter what age you are.
Yeah.
Roy Walker's still doing it in his buck and 80s.
Yeah, because I used to be a wee bit in my head about that, but I don't think about it now. I'm sort of like, there's no. If it's funny, it's funny. You don't have to have experienced it to be able to laugh at it.
I think audiences are kind of going, you're a comedian, make me laugh. And if you don't make them laugh, they'll.
No, I loved your show last year, and I loved the way you talked about your dad. He sounded very, very funny, and I'm kind of interested now to hear about your mum a wee bit more and hear like the other, because I don't use my parents for material, but they do stuff all the time that either becomes an influence for something. You're always,
yes,
they do influence you.
Your mother and your father's daughters.
Well, of course I am.
They are influenced by them and what they've done and what they've done in their lives.
Because my dad's a real like storyteller and like he's a host. Do you know what I mean?
He's a larger than life character.
He is a larger than life character. But my mum's quite like that as well. Yeah. But when we were growing up, I don't know if I thought about how funny my mum is as well, because she was always laughing at my dad. She's a great audience member, But they do. There's more and more of them now that I'm sort of putting into material and songs. And
my mother was quite religious. She took religion very seriously. And one time, my father was a surgeon in the Mater Hospital. And he was a very good surgeon in the Mater Hospital. And my mother was very, very religious. She knew a lot of clergymen. She got an audience with the Pope. And my father had his hands blessed by the Pope. Right. There was a famous photograph of my mother and my father and the Pope. Yeah. But in the middle of the photograph was a woman in a veil who just happened to be one of those ones. She just happened to be there. So there was my dad, this weird woman in a veil, the Pope, and my ma. And my mother had this photograph on the mantelpiece, and it annoyed her for ages and ages and ages. And then she finally, way back, long before photoshopping and stuff, she decided to do a Leon Trotsky on this woman.
Just cut her out.
So one time, we were looking at this photo. I don't know how she did it in those days, long before computers or anything like that. But suddenly we looked at the photograph and this woman had disappeared. This woman was basically written out of history because it had been annoying my ma for so long. Taking attention. And it was on the mantelpiece for years, and then suddenly it changed. But if you lifted the photograph and tilted it in a certain light, you could see this weird veiled figure. Oh my God. A kind of creepy ghost thing.
So had she sort of coloured over it or something?
Basically, she sent it to some chemist who coloured it out, and doing it. God love her, it clearly was annoying her every fucking day.
There's things that my mum used to do whenever we were a little bit younger that it's only now when I think back, I'm like, it's just so funny. And one of them, we were in a traffic jam outside Derry. This is a summer, probably about 25 years ago, and there was a bomb scare in the town. So there was all this we were all just sat in traffic outside Derry on our holidays on our way to Donegal, and the BBC were there sort of like reporting on it, and they were doing wee interviews with people in the traffic just to say like, how are you finding this? What do you think about this? Now, my mum had been sat in traffic going, Jesus Christ, oh my God, we're going to be late. And then the next thing, the window tapped and this wee reporter said, would you mind just giving us a few comments about this? My mum just changed into, well, it's absolutely dreadful. It's taken us back to the dark old days of the Troubles. And they were like, thank you very much. And we were like, who was that? She can be very well spoken when she wants to.
My ma didn't really like what I did. You see, my father died sadly before my career took off, but he'd heard the first radio series and he knew, and he was very, oh, that's great, so it was very, my mother kind of went, you shout too much on TV, and she didn't like the bad language and stuff like that, and I thought she doesn't really like what I did, right? Yeah. And then one time, but she, quietly, my sister told me this story one time, my mother was at the shops, and my brother Philip was a psychiatrist and also involved in the Lions Party. He was on the radio quite a lot, and I was on the radio quite a lot with perforated ulster. And my mother was stopped by a woman outside the Fort William shops one time. I said, oh, Mrs. McGarry, I heard your son on the radio this morning. And my mother went, oh, really? Which one?
They're very, very well known. Deep down. Yeah. She was really proud. Well, how did they react whenever you sort of moved from like a really stable career as a solicitor, a lawyer, into comedy?
Unimpressed. Was she? It's called. I was a lawyer I was in private practice and then Fair Employment Commission. Equal up. Very safe job, very nice job, very good job. I enjoyed my job. Yes. But she was unimpressed. She went, "Are you sure about this?" Damon Quinn and Michael McDowell used to come round to our house and write and all of that sort of stuff. And we used to rehearse our early shows and that. And she was going, "This is a wee hobby, isn't it? It's a wee hobby. Now you'll go back to the law, won't you? When this stops now, stop your nonsense." Yeah. But sure, Liam Neeson's ma thought he always told me there was a job in the bank for him. And Northern Ireland being Northern Ireland, I know that because my brother-in-law is a cousin of Liam Neeson.
Of course, we all are. Somebody everywhere it is.
So I mean, Irish Catholic mothers, you go. I mean, when I got my A-levels, I did Spanish, Latin, and History A-level. My mother said to me, "Oh, that's great. What are you going to do? What are you going to be? A doctor, a lawyer, or a priest?"
But that's it. Because I suppose whenever when you were starting the comedy and writing and everything like that, it wouldn't have been a job.
No.
Nobody would have thought of it as a career move.
No, there was nobody doing it as a career move in those days, in the sort of mid-80s, early 90s, and there was the likes of Frank Carson and Roy White, but they all had to go to England. Yes. And the Troubles were on. There was no theatres or nothing, everything was blew up. Yeah. So it was kind of, are you serious? What are you...
It's quite brave, really, to be like, no, we're leaving.
Yeah. And, to be fair to all the younger comedians who, we've interviewed in the podcast and stuff, and they all, a lot of them grew up watching Give Me a Headpiece. Yeah. And go, well, somebody can do that and become on TV and, can make a career out of it. So, yeah, I mean, I take a bit of kudos out of that. Which is very absolutely. Nice. But, it was a risky thing to do when we went full time. And people like Colin Murphy and Jake O'Kane were starting, and they, they had obviously proven, and the comedy clubs were starting to go. But long before the days of the interweb and all of that stuff, which is,
Do you think you still would have done if the social media had been an aspect around that time? Would you have still done comedy? Oh, I think would you have felt the pressure to
I think the part
put it online?
I mean, online is, talking about Scundered, by the way. I tried to work TikTok. Yes. Not very well. It's not going well. It's not going well.
Like Skyping our parents during the pandemic. It's just people's ears.
I've told this in another podcast, but it's worth retelling. I tried to put a video on TikTok, and it hasn't gone well. Okay. I put the video up, right? So somebody told me how to do it, and then I've obviously pressed some weird button. So the video was of me on my balcony, promoting a show. Yeah. Right? Going, but you can't hear a word I'm saying because underneath it is this weirdest, creepiest kind of horror movie music that I don't know how the fuck I put it on. I don't know what button I've pressed. I don't know what the fuck it is. But it's me. I'm going, and I have no idea how this happened.
This is
an embarrassing thing. I've done it twice. Oh, there was another video of me in the blame game. I go, how did I do this? Is there a music button that
you need a teenager in your house to just go, give me that. You just need to hand it over to somebody under the age of 16 to sort this out, because I'm the same. You just accidentally end up putting like music. Yeah.
Yeah. And the internet
God.
can be quite dangerous sometimes.
Yes. Yes. I get confused online. There's actually a woman from Australia called Teresa Livingstone.
Oh.
And she's a TV presenter. Teresa Livingstone. And then, so she did some sort of like children's TV presenting. Then I think she did like modelling or something to do with Playboy.
Oh, right.
So if you get back when I used to Google my name to see what was going on in my life, it used to, because she was a much bigger profile, like on the internet, it used to always come up with photos of like her in a bikini and stuff like that. So it's only very recently, this has happened twice. I got a message on like a DM on Instagram from somebody saying, thanks for hosting the auction on Friday. I have a few more things that I'm going to send your way. And I was like, oh, great. Didn't know, what's this? And then he started listing all these prizes he was going to, and I just thought this is spam. But then it went on and on and on. And I eventually had to go back and say, I think you've got the wrong person. There'll be nobody there on Friday if you think this is you booking me. And then another one was, she herself messaged me one day and said she's now working as a casting director for America's Got Talent. Right? And she Googled, this is so random, she said, I just found your name by mistake because somebody confused me with you or whatever it was. She said, now I've seen your videos. Do you want to submit an entry for America's Got Talent? And I went, yes, please. Never heard from her again. So it may well have not been her. But yeah, it's bizarre. It's a weird sort of online.
You can get jokes wrong.
If it's online.
Yeah. I had a Twitter joke, which was a very good joke that it didn't go down that well.
Because it was in writing. And people didn't pick up the
timing
content. Yeah.
Timing.
Yeah. And was there a pylon? Was there a lot of sort of...
I'd never experienced this before. There was a pylon. Well, do you know what? I'm quite proud of the joke.
Yeah.
But with John Hume's funeral, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And John Hume...
was the timing of when you posted the joke?
Yes,
right, okay.
yes. John, what happened was, do you remember during lockdown and Bobby Story funeral was quite controversial?
Yeah.
IRA funeral and all of that. And then John Hume died, and John Hume's family, being John Hume, obeyed all the laws. And so he had about 20 people at his funeral. Mm-hmm. And I put up a post saying, John Hume, great peacemaker, great man for Ireland, was never in the IRA. He said, though, mind you, if he had joined the RA, he would have got a far bigger funeral.
Yeah.
Which I thought was quite funny. Yeah. It turned out that I thought he'd been buried and stuff, but he hadn't. The funeral was still ongoing. So I got, this is Teresa's daddy. Now, lots of people, including SDLP people and Hume people, said, that's very funny.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
But the pylon was, like within, instantly, people were ringing me up going, have you seen your Twitter account?
Oh my God.
Thousands of people.
Oh, seriously?
And hundreds and hundreds of, this is disgraceful and tasteless and
abusive and everything. Jesus.
So for the first time, I deleted the tweet. But you learn a lesson.
It's just the timing of it, like you say. But yeah, there are, and maybe like 90% of them weren't even real people. You know, there's like the algorithms.
But that was a few years ago, so it might have been real.
Oh yeah, it might have been real. Yeah. Oh God, that's awful. Well, I'm lucky.
Good gaggle.
Still worth doing. No, absolutely. No, I don't really use any. I don't really post.
Well, you kind of have to, you know. That's what I'm discovering.
Yeah.
The younger people require these things, you know. So we started the Give Me a Head podcast a couple of years ago, and it's been great. Actually, we interview politicians and actors, you know. So it's kind of not quite serious, but you know, it's really enjoyable.
No, but you get a real mix.
We get a real mix, and it's nice because you get quite heavy ones, you know, politicians and things, but.
Are the politicians hard in the sense that they're so used to being interviewed and they've all that media training and... It's
really interesting. A couple of them were kind of daddy-da, very friendly and very friendly, and then you raise a certain couple of button issues and they... now the party line is the daddy-da.
Yeah, so, or answer another question, one you've not asked.
Question. The Shinners won't come on. We can't get a Shinner to come
right?
on. We were promised loads of Shinner. We have the DUP, we have the Ulster Unionist Party, we've had SDLP, Alliance, Greens, People Before Profit.
Right.
Can't get
why.
a shinner. I don't know. I think they're slightly more controlled in their media appearances, you know, which is a bit of a pity because we've said, look, we've said to all the politicians, look, we want a bit of crack. We will ask you, you know, hard questions, but it's not a Nolan interview. It's not going to, ruin your career. You know, it is a bit of crack. We like to find out the humanity behind people and the personality behind people, and a lot of it has been really interesting as well.
Yes,
you know, so it's been,
especially when it's Dad asking him to come on.
Exactly. Yeah, you think I had some influence, but no influence whatsoever.
Tell them it's for research. I know. Oh my goodness. No, because obviously I don't really do.
Well, you were on our podcast.
I was, yes. Had a lovely time.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
No.
Available for more always. I don't really get into politics in terms like whenever I'm writing material or anything like that. But I had a really embarrassing incident once as a member of the Question Time audience. Oh, right. And this is way before, this is when I was at uni. And I was in Edinburgh and the Question Time was, I used to love Question Time. I watched it all the time, right? Bit bizarre. And the panel were coming to Edinburgh and I just applied to be in the audience and they said, yeah, come along. So I was there and I was all dead excited. Again, it was like the mock jury. I was like, the mock trial. I was like, maybe get on camera here. You know, like just trying to get a wee sort of, get my face in the news. And the first, you had to submit questions in advance and then they would tell people who's going to ask the questions, right? So they said to me, somebody else asked a question about legalising gay marriage. It was around that time, so it was like a good while ago. And the panel had on it...
Obviously you were against that.
I was very, very fervently against it. I was outside with the DUP. Like, woo! And whenever the panel all sort of gave their opinions, and one of the panel was Melanie Phillips, who wrote for the Daily Mail. She's awful person, and she went as controversial and as hardline as she could about it, and was really like, absolutely never. I don't see the point of it. It's sinful. It's this, that, and the other. And I was sitting there all like wee student, all blood boiling. I was like, I'm gonna say something on camera here, and so I put my hand up, and David Dimbleby, who was still presenting at the time, he was like, he had said to us before we started started taping, if I look at you, that means I'm coming to you for a comment, so keep your hand up. So I had my hand up and I didn't know what I was going to say. I was just so annoyed by what she'd said. Have you ever seen on Question Time the audience people who, when they speak, they lose the run of themselves? They just, that was me, right? So I thought I was going to be, in my head, I'm going to be really eloquent and like put this journalist in her place. And he said, I'll come to the lady in the green. And I went, hi, excuse me, hi, I don't believe what I'm hearing here. And it went on and on with me babbling. And to try and get my point across, I just made up a statistic. And I went, how can you say that when 95% of civil marriages last? That's a fact. They never, they last, right? And the whole panel were just like, and one of the other people in the panel was Lord Falconer, who was in the Labour Party. And he literally just said, did you just make that up? And I went, yes.
She said yes?
And I went, yes, but I thought it was just, and David Dimbleby went, we're just going to move on, right? Now, thankfully, at the end of the taping, they said, we're only using that first one as, like, that's how we check the lights and the sound. So the actual recording is the questions that went after, and I was like, thank God.
I would have loved to have seen that on national TV.
Yes, making up statistics.
But Donald Trump's made a career out of that.
Well, you see, it would have been different now. I would have just been like, fake news. Yes. It is true, look it up. Anyway, how embarrassing. There you go. Listen,
Scundered.
Tim, Scundered, thank you. We'll end on brand. Thank you so much for coming and doing this. Yeah, we're going to finish.
That was quick.
I know, that was... I've been about nearly an hour.
Oh, right. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for having me. Thank you for having me. No, my pleasure.
No, I can't wait to come and see your show. You can come and see
29th of August. Yes, where are you?
I'm in the Lyric a few weeks after you.
Well, I will be free then to come and see you.
My show, Nice Lady.
Oh,
I am a nice lady.
Excellent. I will book for that.
And yes, good luck with it. And
thank you very much.
Height of Nonsense.